Baby, grab your coffee and sit down, because Diddy just pulled his most desperate move yet. A brand new bail motion that's shaking the courtroom to its core. After weeks of silence, his defense team is begging the judge to cut him loose, claiming he's not a flight risk, just a man trapped in a storm of media chaos. But behind the glass, witnesses say Diddy looks drained, pale, and tired of pretending. Insiders whisper that this motion isn't about freedom, it's about survival. His lawyers are painting him as a victim of fame, while prosecutors fire back saying he's a master manipulator who can't handle his own downfall. The courtroom energy? Electric. Cameras flashing, fans divided, and the press waiting for one word, granted or denied. If this motion fails, it's the end of the road. And baby, if Diddy thought the spotlight was cruel before, wait till he sees what happens when the lights go out for good. Oh baby, the next part gets even wilder, because when that judge walked in, you could feel the tension snap like a wire ready to break. Diddy's eyes locked straight ahead, no smile, no swagger. Just a man who knows the empire he built might crumble right in front of him. His lawyers laid it all out. Sleepless nights, unfair media trials, and the so-called inhumane conditions he's been facing behind bars. But prosecutors didn't blink. They called it manipulation, saying Diddy's living better than most inmates and still trying to play the victim card. The crowd murmured, reporters typed like lightning, and for a moment, the courtroom felt like a movie scene. Except this is real life, and there's no director to yell cut. Then the judge leaned forward, face cold, and said, "Mr. Combs, this court doesn't bend for fame." You could hear the gasp. Diddy's jaw tightened, but he stayed silent because baby, deep down he knew. This wasn't just a hearing. It was a warning. Your power can't save you anymore. Baby, next part is where the drama hits a whole new level, because after that cold warning from the judge, Diddy's whole defense started cracking right in front of everyone. His team tried to pivot fast, saying he's a changed man, focused on healing and faith, even claiming he's mentoring young inmates and writing music from his cell. But prosecutors came swinging, dropping bomb after bomb, financial irregularities, hidden communications, and whispers that Diddy's trying to influence witnesses through outside channels. The room went silent. Reporters froze mid-typing. Diddy's lawyer tried to object, but the damage was already done. And when the judge looked over the stack of evidence and sighed, baby, you could feel that sigh in your bones. Diddy turned away, staring down at his cuffed hands like he finally realized the spotlight he chased his whole life had turned into a floodlight, exposing everything. The courtroom wasn't just judging him anymore. It was burying the myth of untouchable Diddy once and for all. And baby, this one cuts deep. When the hearing wrapped for a short recess, Diddy didn't strut out like the superstar we all remember. No, he shuffled, head low, lips pressed tight, and that famous confidence? Gone. Outside, the crowd was a storm, some fans screaming, "Free Diddy," while others shouted, "Justice for the victims." It was chaos, cameras flashing, everyone fighting to grab a piece of the story. And inside that courthouse hallway, insiders say Diddy looked like a man replaying every bad choice he ever made. His team whispered fast, phones buzzing nonstop, but his eyes were somewhere else. Lost, maybe scared, maybe realizing this wasn't about fame or music anymore. The world had changed, and baby, the man who once controlled the stage was now being controlled by the system. And when he turned back toward the courtroom, that look said it all. This isn't a comeback story. This is survival mode. Baby, this is the moment everyone's been waiting for. The courtroom went dead silent as the judge came back from recess, papers in hand, eyes sharp like they already knew the verdict before speaking. Diddy stood, chest tight, jaw clenched, trying to hold on to that last drop of power. His lawyer whispered something, maybe a prayer, maybe a plea. And then the judge spoke. After reviewing all arguments and evidence, the court finds insufficient grounds to grant bail. Boom. Just like that, the room exploded, gasps, whispers, phones flashing everywhere. Diddy froze, staring straight ahead, face pale like the world had gone quiet inside him. His team tried to compose themselves, but the truth was written all over their faces. This was a loss. Reporters sprinted out to break the news first, headlines already forming before he even sat down. And as the guard stepped closer, Diddy's eyes flickered, not with anger, but something we'd never seen before: fear. Baby, for the first time in his life, Diddy wasn't running the show was running him. Baby, the world went wild the second that gavel hit. Within minutes, every news outlet from TMZ to CNN had the headline: Diddy denied bail, empire on the edge. Social media caught fire. fans crying, critics cheering, and everyone arguing about whether this was justice or just another celebrity takedown. But behind the noise, insiders say Diddy was escorted back to his holding cell, silent, staring at the floor like a man finally feeling the full weight of everything he's done. Gone were the designer suits, the parties, the power, replaced by cold walls, fluorescent lights, and that echo of a career that may never recover. Meanwhile, the media spun it like a modern tragedy, the fall of a mogul who thought he was untouchable. Old friends are suddenly quiet, business partners distancing, and even the music industry whispering that the bad boy era might officially be over. And baby, the irony? The man who once built his empire on attention is now being crushed by it. Baby, behind those prison walls and headlines, the real heartbreak was happening in silence. Sources close to Diddy say his family is fractured, some visiting, others refusing to show up, afraid of the cameras and the judgment. His kids, who once stood proudly beside him at red carpets, are now trying to live quiet, normal lives while the world drags their father's name through the mud. One insider claimed Diddy broke down after seeing a photo of his youngest during visitation. Said he finally looked like a man, not a mogul. Meanwhile, his closest friends are ghosting him one by one. The calls that once came non-stop have turned into silence. The industry is moving on fast, baby, like he never existed. His label? Restructuring. His brand deals? Vanished overnight. And in the middle of it all, Diddy's left with nothing but time. Time to think, time to regret, and time to realize that fame may fill your pockets, but it can't buy your peace. Baby, even behind bars, Diddy ain't giving up without a fight. Word is, he's trying to rebuild control the only way he knows how, through strategy and power moves. He's calling in favors, reaching out through lawyers, and whispering to industry allies still loyal enough to answer. Rumor has it he's already working on a redemption project. A tell-all documentary to rewrite his story, to paint himself as the misunderstood mogul brought down by envy and lies. But here's the twist. Insiders say not everyone inside those walls is buying it. Some inmates reportedly mock him, saying, "Ain't no cameras in here, puff." That hits hard, baby. Because for the first time in decades, there's no audience, no crew, no spotlight to control the narrative. It's just Diddy and the truth. And that truth's been louder than any beat he ever dropped. Still, he keeps plotting, talking about faith, legacy, and survival. But baby, between us, the world outside has already moved on, and Diddy's biggest battle now isn't for freedom. It's to stay relevant in a story that's no longer his to tell. Baby, this is where the storm really starts to rage. Just when the dust began to settle, new leaks started dripping out from inside those prison walls. Messages, voice notes, even whispers from guards claiming Diddy's still trying to pull strings like he's on the outside. One report says he's offering favors for info, trying to control what hits the blogs and what doesn't. But baby, the internet moves faster than any gate can close. Screenshots, alleged recordings, and insider chats are spilling everywhere, painting a picture of a man still addicted to control, still desperate to own the narrative. The media's feasting on it, every headline more brutal than the last. From King of the Game to Inmate 5093. And while his lawyers scramble to clean up the mess, Diddy's sitting in that cell, watching his name trend for all the wrong reasons. The sad truth? The same machine he built to make himself a legend is now the one tearing him down. Piece by piece, post by post, till there's nothing left but the man behind the myth. Baby, this is the end of the road, and it hits heavier than any beat Diddy ever dropped. The final court order came down, no bail, no shortcuts, no escape. Just cold reality. The empire he built on flash and fame has gone silent, replaced by concrete walls and echoes of what used to be. The music world has already crowned new kings, and Diddy, the man who once made the world dance, is now a ghost in his own legacy. Some say he's found faith, others say he's broken beyond repair. But either way, baby, one thing's clear. The spotlight he chased for decades has turned its back, and the only thing left shining is the truth. Maybe this is karma, maybe it's justice, or maybe it's just the price of living too loud for too long. Because in the end, when the crowd stops cheering and the lights finally fade, all that's left is who you really are. And for Diddy, that's the story the world's finally seeing.